before, I guess, when it was I'm going to say a little bit, but not really. It was quite broken with how much control you got on that first choke point. I just really enjoyed the map, and I think a lot of it was the aesthetics, but I've always really liked the hybrid maps because I think it brings out the best of, you've got that escort aspect, but then you also have to capture it. It's just very enjoyable to play because it just gives you so much to work with. Different strategies can be born. Yeah, it's just all around interesting. It's just not the same old. So the fact that they've chosen this, I'm super happy, but it's not the King's Road that we foretold.
Yeah, quite interesting. So maybe, depending on who did pick, I'm not 100% sure.
It was DarkSided who picked Eichenwald.
It was DarkSided who picked Eichenwald. Interesting. So might have some successful results on Eichenwald, and it's going to be the team of Sin Gaming to first defend this, and they look pretty much with a relatively standard composition, a little bit of a hybrid actually, rather than having the hit scan of Soldier instead of getting the McCree for Jordation, or actually is a team that stylistically has favoured this very dive-centric composition. So Jordation would most likely be on a Genji there, but is elected to get onto that McCree to sort of half-dive composition, and it's going to sort of allow Bus and Locust to make some space for Jordation in the backline, in conjunction with the Discord Orb to work for that long-range harass, and against a pharmacy composition, so this could be quite an interesting sort of turn of events when we're approaching this first point.
Absolutely. The matchup, as you said, speaks wonders. If Jordation can really put a lot of pressure onto Nesty, onto Kura, it's going to be quite difficult for them to push up. But on the other side, if they're able to then split up and just rain down, if they're allowed to go unchecked, it could be quite hard to deal with. So let's see how they play this one out with that first push coming in from the DarkSided boys.
DarkSided are approaching the payload right now. Mooney is electing to try and take control of the building there, but does get pushed back by the thrusters of Sad Boy. We get Nesty is in the back line with this rocket, slowly taking away the Sin Gaming defenses. Jordation's going to have to be in charge of taking down that pharmacy combo. It can be rather difficult, but now Bubble is placed onto the payload. Bus is the first one to get in, and he's the first one to get out. He's resurrected by Funk, and that's an important cooldown to keep track of and how powerful it is. Modified and Punk are really trying to punish Bus right there, getting the shield down pretty much instantly. And already another resurrection has come out, and pretty confident first push there for DarkSide.
Very, very confident. They're working together as a six-man unit, and I really did see as well, Locust, he was trying to go around, trying to put pressure on Kura, but the peeling that was coming up from DarkSide was so well done. I mean, if you can't get that, I guess, pressure with your flankers, then you just know the unit, the DarkSide boys, the communication is definitely there. Might want to consider also doing a swap up if you can't find much more value, but Tracer, she's always going to have a hard time on defense in that first area because it really does favor. There's not a lot of room to flank around with. But already now, there's a huge fight happening on the top of the castle. Rocket Barrage goes out by Nesty, but they immediately back off the Sin Gaming boys, so no one is lost.
Yeah, a lot of that defense matrix proved to be very vital coming into that Rocket Barrage. Saved a few lives there. High Noon is engaged there by Jordation. That's a drop shot. Manages to escape that. Luckily, that was quite an aggressive play there. Nesty still on this pharmacy combo with Kura, harassing Sad Boy as they're going towards the high ground right now. Sin Gaming, they're just being torn apart from this DarkSided squad. They really need to try and regroup in this situation. DarkSided look like they have their number. It's being very aggressive and taking out a lot of their members early.
Sin Gaming weren't able to hold the high ground at all, and the dive that the DarkSided boys had, I mean, it speaks volumes, and just the backup that they have. Really, we had the supports for the majority occupying the payloads, so they weren't really there in the fray of things. It was defensive matrix and also just Nesty getting those pop shots. Sound barrier now opening things up, but Bus, he's opened up the primary, seeing if he can knock people off. He does get one, actually.
Yeah, great job there from Bus, getting two members of that Primal Rage right on the bridge there, so it does grant Sin Gaming the time that they vitally need. They really need to do that consecutively, as DarkSided 3 minutes and 45 seconds on the clock. They have all the time in the world to try and contemplate how they want to access this third point.
Cracking pace, but I like the trade right there. Primal Rage for the sound barrier, I'd say arguably quite a nice trade, and Bus as well, because of the staggering of the deaths, just buying them just a couple more crucial seconds right there.
Pulse Bomb does end up getting Funk, so that's the Mercy down. That is extremely important coming into this. Kura does get his resurrection off, does have the Valkyrie online as well as Bertlog is on the payload, but he does get pushed off.
No!
That was an outstanding move there. Outstanding job there from Graphics. Also, the self-destruct sequence is on point. Bus gets taken out. DarkSided, it's all looking very bright for them at the moment as the resurrection does come through. It's only really going to delay the inevitable, I feel, but Sin Gaming, they're not giving up just yet. It's what High Noon might have zoned a lot of the members. Sad Boy, the final one on cart, and does get booped off as well. So once again, that boop was really, really good there from Graphics at the start, but DarkSided is very confident with their play.
Sad Boy would have been sad right there with that move when he just went falling down the bridge and the team unable to hold. And I mean, look at how much pressure Modified is putting onto Funk. Back-to-back deaths from Modified on Funk. That's crucial. That's what your Tracer wants to be able to do. That's the flank they need. But it looks like Sin Gaming, they're just not able to really get into the backline. And I mean, the Transcendence as well, when it just got booped off, felt so bad.
Quite unfortunate for them as Nesty does get revived. Sad Boy does get the same respect as well. Getting back into mech is going to be quite important. He does have access to that back door. Nation does get a pick on a Modified of that High Noon. Also, Nesty was discorded. They managed to focus him down real quick in that fight, so they do have a numbers advantage so far. And Sin Gaming have managed to fend off. Graphics is trying to push the payload. He's going to get executed right there. Kura's coming in. He's like, kill me now! He's actually going to get stalled here.
He's getting staggered.
This is very good from them. Yeah.
Good stagger. That's definitely what you want. And Kura just saying, just not like this. He was, however, trying to make do. He had the blast pistol out and was trying to build up some charge. Funk has Valkyrie online again. Didn't get any value last time. Only managed to res one. And then, like I said, Modify just picked him down. So that was arguably just a little bit of a painful Valkyrie that you don't want to be able to use your Valkyrie like that. You want to get those multiple resurrections off. Blast going in now. Primal Rage again.
Both teams have very similar resources available for this fight. Both supports ult available as Jornation, the backline does pop that High Noon. Self-destruct pop right in the middle of that point right there. Also, Resurrection does allow Southbow to get back into the fight. DS Funk with a double kill. Good job there. Very explosive return there. Nice lob into the top of the payload. DarkSided trying to find their way against Sin Gaming. Sad Boy doing a very good job to stall that. Does get pumped down low on that mech. And Sin Gaming, once again, 2 successful fights.
This last little section, this choke that it creates, it really can be difficult. It's almost like the Lunar Horizon where you just need to wipe everyone together. Otherwise, you can just come back so quickly. I mean, the defender's advantage is so strong. And like you can start to see if they're not getting all the members, just the amount of stall that happens out, like Sad Boy as well, on the Diva. The stall that they can create is quite wonderful. I mean, Punk, he did get 2 members. That was huge. That was a huge self-destruct. But we could see DarkSided, they weren't able to yet capitalize on it. Earthshatter. But look at the beautiful Transcendence to negate it.
That's a wonderful job there from Bertlog, keeping all of the members topped up, as Nesty also was damage boosted in that fight. With the tactical visor, does manage to get a few picks of his own. High Noon, says Jornation, trying to view the members down on this DarkSided team. Resurrection does come out as well. Buzz is back online into the fight. See if he can go and access this backline. I mean, he's going to have to go back. That shield is cracked. And Sin Gaming, they're now being collapsed on, actually. Your members making sure to target Buzz on that Winston Discord has been really prominent on that member as he does pop the Primal Rage, getting the DarkSided members away by the Transcendence. Coming in from Graphics, Graviton Surge as well. Doesn't really get anyone. Caught the side of the payload. Self-destruct doesn't get anyone either. A few ultimates used there, but without any gain. As Mooney just gets that hammer, swings it through. Tactical Visor, Nesty again getting this ultimate so quickly, kiting around the back, but Tranquility from Bertlog doing a fantastic job to counter the opposition. Sin Gaming have a little bit of momentum here.
Amazing, right there by Sin Gaming. Bertlog, those Transcendence, the past 2, I mean, ever since he got booped off the bridge, this man has been on a mission. He was just not happy with that. He's been really swinging the tempo in a lot of these fights, as well as Bus with the Primal Rage. He's not overextending, he's getting in, getting out. And I mean, yes, the Graviton and the Self-Destruct, they didn't manage to pick up anything, but they did zone, so they got a couple more crucial meters to push the payload, but that wasn't what they were looking for. They wanted those kills because that would have really opened them up to pushing down in this final point. I mean, they do have Earthshatter back online, and now Mooney is quite low.
Mooney is looking for it, and that's a big Earthshatter. Let's see if they can capitalize off that. members of DarkSided, they're charging in, they want to get it off, but that Valkyrie is popped and 2 members are instantly resurrected. Let's see if DarkSided can take them out as Jornation, mid-high noon, gets Helix Rocket there from Nesty. And the resurrection again, Funk does manage to get a member and bust. That's a tanking person to get back online on the payload, but graphics, Transcendence is really going to help there. Post Bomb does get bust. DarkSided, they are trying to get all of the members from Sin Gaming off the payload, and they are successful in the end. Sin Gaming looking better towards the end. If only they had that same sort of pressure throughout the whole match.
Almost. I mean, Bertlock, his Transcendence was just a couple seconds too short. Too many members were lost, and I mean, the Valkyrie had been popped. But every time a member got res, they were instantly taken down yet again by DarkSided. That can be, I guess, the disadvantage. Yes, Mercy can resurrect people, but because she has to also go in, it can also be quite dangerous for her as well. So it's very predictable, and you know exactly where that person's going to be. So great push right there by DarkSided. Finally, they really needed that Urshad to connect. Finally, it did, and we could see the front line got completely dismantled, and the back line, we could see they were just on the steps, just trying to stall as best they could. But they did cap it in overtime, so let's see, Sin Gaming, they just need to get a better time to work with. Easier said than done, right?
Yeah, pretty much. And I think DarkSided there really switching up the compositions into a Ryan comp, and that's really quite difficult to do. A lot of teams do like running the Reinhardt there because of the nature of having an easier Earth Shatter. But at the same time, if you're up against such an aggressive composition, and you're going to have a Winston in your face, of course you can't block the Tesla cannon when you have so many targets on a Reinhardt that's very stationary. So a lot of it does come down to, right, so can Mooney get a good Earth Shatter because they don't have any shields on the opposition to deal with it, and it's so small. And in the end there, they really did get what they wanted, and it gave them access to that final point. But it is quite difficult because a lot of the members are on top of you to try and get a good Earth Shatter. The amount of mobility. So it was a good job there from Mooney finally there in the end.
They did, and a lot of that was also just being backed up by Kura's Mercy. So when he was dropping down low, even with the Discord, just the double support, the healing coming out on him to make sure that he could get the Earth Shatter, or not just Earth Shatter and just die instantly. I mean, that just shows, I guess, great management of the resource as well as the positioning coming out. I mean, we're seeing a little bit of a swap up now. Graphics is playing the Mercy with Kura, swapping to the Zenyatta this time around. So, wondering, perhaps he's just saying I'm bored of being the Mercy. Give me a shot at being Zenyatta.
Well, Graphics said to Kura, you know, anyone can play Mercy, let me have a crack at it. Let's see how Graphics does compare to Kura. Played a lot of Mercy, let's see how it works out for them, as Bus is the first one to try and shake something loose. Mooney is guarding that quite well there. In conjunction with Punk, the takes try to fend off the back line right now from the opposition of the squad of Sin Gaming. And Sin Gaming looking to get some harassed Jornation once again on this McCree. Pretty much an identical composition as last time. First one getting counter-engaged there by Mooney. Leaf and Bubble both used by Winston's there. Now Punk does manage to get the mech out of Sad Boy, so looks like they have a little bit more time to work with. Sin Gaming with that mech not available could be a little bit more harder for them to push in, but Locus is getting a lot of harass on the opposition mech right now. Valkyrie already accumulated. This could be very huge right now. They could get a few clutch resurrections off. Bus is already the one to get that off there. Also, Pulse Bomb onto the opposition of the mech. Tactical Visor, high noon as well. Jornation gets a double kill. Both Mercy and Tracer, prime targets for them. Agree to get nice ultimate there. And Sin Gaming, a quick capture just like DarkSide.
I really like that. They did not rush at all. Really, what they were utilizing or waiting for was the Valkyrie, and they used it so well. Then they prioritized the correct targets. They just made sure that they were putting pressure consistently onto Graphics. Graphics, I thought they were going to be a little bit of trouble because he also managed to pop his Valkyrie, but he got instantly taken out. So, it could have been a bit of a slippery fight, but they did it. That was a very, very convincing push. They made sure they didn't want to lose anyone, just taking shots, just poking, waiting, biding their time. Wonderful stuff by Sin Gaming.
See how they can work around that, as the DarkSided squad do have that high ground. So it'll be up to Bus and Sad Boy to try and alleviate that pressure and the harass coming in through there, as Mooney, Kura, Punk, the whole squad of DarkSided are coming in through this choke, trying to punish the squad of Sin Gaming going through such a small area. And also Primal Rage is popped by both Winstons. They're just going to have a slap off right now. Also, a very fun thing to spectate there, but DarkSided, they are getting the fights that they want. They were very aggressive, jumping on off that high ground to contest quite early. Self-destruct right on the pathway there does end up getting bust through the payload, so they are granted a little bit more time, but forget the spawns are quite close for this Sin Gaming roster. As Nesty does activate that tactical visor, very confident in his play right now. He is getting facilitated right now by graphics, is being pocketed by that damage boost and the healing. Quite an extended fight. Haven't really seen anything set in stone yet, Mandy.
No, not yet. I mean, Bus, he just narrowly just avoided not being hit by the self-destruct. Might have misplayed himself a little bit in the panic. But Funk actually had to trade his life out to resurrect Bus. I mean, that was huge because it staggered them some more. Nesty's tap visor is down, but they still have the high ground advantage. They aren't getting dislodged from there. I mean, we need to see... There we go. This is what we want to see, the displacement happening. Beautiful.
That was outstanding there. Both Winston and the combination of the self-destruct sequence just forced the opposing composition to retreat there. They really did a very good job at that. Vandy, second you said it.
I know. See, they were like, all right, Vandy, just give us a sec. We're about to do it. So wonderful stuff to see by the boys, because you cannot afford to let, especially their hit scan, especially your sustained damage, you cannot afford to let them have that high ground, that angle on you, because it just becomes very, very awkward. You have the dive to be able to deal with it, so I'd like to see it. And they executed it perfectly. Sin Gaming, these guys, they're a completely different team, it seems like, from last week. I mean, the game already just feels so much closer. The decisions that they're making, the teamwork, it's definitely there. Primal Rage, Pop now. Oh, we can already start to see two members down. Locust, Jordation, they're already out of the fight.
Primal Rage Winston's really going to prove to be the worst enemy of Jordation. He gets slapped into the wall there. DarkSided are going to be successful with this fight. And once again, we sort of saw this on the last phase as well, on the opposite attack, where Primal Rage Winston can be quite dangerous in this bridge area towards the third phase right now, and getting a lot of value off that. But Sin Gaming need to rethink their strategy. It's very interesting pathing as well from the DarkSided squad. They went through across to the bridge and jumped down, rather than going through, you know, your tried and true, the main entrances going towards the bridge. So for them to try and alternate their routes.
You did say the DarkSide boys, they are able to, or do like to try something new. But already the fight is starting to begin with Funk. Transcendence being popped, trying to negate a lot of the damage. Self-destruct, let's see if he can collide. Pick it. Oh no! Everyone just escaped. No, he actually got Moody!
Wow.
That was nice. Just the splash that managed to take him out. So this is looking really good for Sin Gaming right now. If they can continue to put the pressure on, this is going to be an easy cap for them. And they're still making quite good time.
They certainly are, and they very well could contest, because let's not forget that DarkSided did get there in overtime, but DarkSided, they look like they want to get back onto the payload. We could be seeing another fight. Oh, could they get back on? That was perfect timing there from Moody. That was extremely close. Bertlog is stuck, but that Transcendence is going to keep him back online, as also the Valkyrie is used here. Self-destruct in the middle of the point. Does end up getting fucked. That Mercy is down. Very important. Nesty also with the tactical visor looking to get rid of that air pressure as well. Plus, trying to contest on this payload. Primal Rage looking to get the members off the payload. Maybe was to successfully gain access to the next point. Not going to be successful in that high noon in the back. Jordation has been flaking with the high noon so much this game, and maybe he's just too used to playing Genji, as members of DarkSided are fending off Sin quite well here. Sin to get the resurrection of her Jordation falls off the cliff.
Well, no, not like this. I can already start to see people saying, but what was that by DarkSided? Millisecond timing from it being capped. Look at where the payload was. That's disgusting stuff. Mooney, he was dealt with quite quickly, but it was more Funk that then became the issue. Self-destruct, taking out Funk quite early into that, really set them back with how much, I guess, they were needing to attack. I don't think they can make it back. Sad Boy's trying to go in, but the rest of the members, we need the rest of the members to come in now and start getting some kills.
They do have that tactical visor, and also Primal Rage is going to prove to be a very useful tool to get all the members of Sin Gaming after the point. There's only 3, now it's gone down to 2. DarkSided taking out the members of Sin Gaming. It's a 3v2 at the moment. Locust does get the stick on the pump. Very brave award there going there, but fortunately it wasn't enough for Locust in the end. But DarkSided 3-1. A little bit closer, because let's not forget DarkSided did struggle to get through in that third phase, and with that contest there from Mooney, just beautiful timing there.
Absolutely. I just didn't see it coming, really. I did not think that they were going to contest. I saw them hovering in that little, in the tunnels, just waiting. I'm like, surely, are they going to? I'm not really sure. They're going to let it go, see if they come back. But they went for it, and it paid off. The fact that they won this map so convincingly, they didn't even let poor Sin Gaming get up to the third segment. So crazy stuff. Like I said, did not see that one coming, but it was so well executed by the DarkSided boys. And every time they managed to make sure that they focused Funk so early into the fights, they did not want any of the resurrections to happen, did not want Valkyrie available, because they really wanted to win this point. And they played it so strategically as well. They forced it into overtime for that last fight, giving Sin Gaming no more chances.
Yeah, and they did have resources as well to use because of that sort of very clutch contest. Maybe Sin Gaming got faked out. Maybe they thought, all right, so they're not going to contest this. And then DarkSided, as you just said, Vandy, came through very, very, very close and maybe a little bit of a fake. So
could have been, yeah, like lull them into a false sense of security, right?
I mean, you don't know unless you're them, I guess. But we're adding a little bit of a narrative to it, I guess. But it's always a possibility. But I think it's still good news for Sin Gaming, right? Because of that sort of very, very close game, considering the scoreline once again doesn't really tell the story, though. A millimeter away from capturing that second point. And
absolutely, yeah, good point.
Yeah, and second map will be Lijiang Tower, by the way. So a map that we're
our
all
favorite.
pretty much familiar with. Hey, we're back to Lijiang Tower once again.
Love it, Lijiang Tower. Let's never leave you. You're one of our favorite. Well, when we do have to play King of the Hill, one of our favorite maps. I mean, the change that they made, making it so that it was a best out of 3 out of best of 5, I think it was positive. The community, everyone was welcoming it. You just felt as though you weren't spending like an hour into this when you were queuing up into comp.
Well, and now we're on to the next map. We're on to a different realm, into a different country, into Lijiang. I like how Overwatch is global. That's so cool. And I don't know why. It just, you have that sort of communal sense, and you don't know where you're going to go next. But I mean, the most recent map is the moon, so the sky's the limit, literally, for the Overwatch fan base.
No, we went back to Australia, so we went from the moon to Australia. Sky is the limit, love it. And then also through a lot of pestered power from our community, it was not the take-out shop, it was the takeaway shop, because ain't nobody about takeout here. It's not called that. It's just completely silly, completely wrong. Jeff, how could you do this to us?
Yeah, that's just awful design right there.
Okay, so talking points for this, like we said, we did see Sin Gaming. They were playing this last week against Atletico. We felt as though they were struggling a little bit. They had moments, I guess, moments of magic, but then they were struggling with that performance that we just saw on Eichenwald. I'm expecting to see this one get quite close, or be quite a close one.
It certainly could very well prove to be, and of course, graphics is, there we go. He was dancing there for a little bit. He was on Lucio then, and switches to Mercy, so they have that movement speed boost to try and get back on the point. And both teams right onto that killer. Jordation actually on that Pharah, so maybe predicting a pharmacy composition from DarkSided, which they very well could be. Nesty is a person who does play a lot of Pharah. Jordation does get rare, so this is pretty much pocket Jordation competition right now. Composition, not competition. And now they're just phasing back towards the spawn, wanting to get those long-range sights in action, but that does grant DarkSided the point, and picks really need to come out through as well, but they have switched off that Widowmaker and they're back to that tried and true free that's been played.
Yeah, definitely more versatile and can also put some pressure on Modified's Tracer if he comes back in, really use that concussion grenade to lock her down and then take her out. So definitely what we want to see, and as you said, I believe the Widowmaker was in anticipation for Nesty's Pharah. It's what makes sense to me. But Bus was picked up so quickly into that fight, as was Jordation, so we really saw Sin Game. They didn't have a chance to push the point or contest it as well as we would have liked to see. Instead, they're regrouping now.
Speaking of Jordation, does manage to get graphics instantly in that fight, and already Sin Gaming back on the board, and they will get some percentage for themselves, and that was a fast-paced tempo fight, and they do have resources available for the next one, so be happy in their camp at the moment.
No, I like this. Funk, he got a really early boop, and that really helped them in the numbers advantage in the tempo of the fight, because you couldn't resurrect it. You can't resurrect those environmental kills, so big asset.
Once again, graphics does get taken out very, very quickly in these fights. Pulse Bomb did manage to catch graphics there, and also Primal Rage used self-destruct looking to zone Mooney does have to leap out. Doesn't take any damage as a result of it. Sad Boy be getting popped off here, but Does not happen there, and Sin Gaming. This is a momentous occasion for them right now, as they are having 2 successful fights in a row, and they still have their ultimates available.
100%, that's what I wanted to touch on. They weren't really trying to utilize the ultimate, see if they could defend, utilize what they had on hand, and it was working so well for them. So I love this. Now they can play with the ultimates, because we can also see DarkSided. They've got some online as well. They can use the self-destruct as well as the Valkyrie. That'll be a big one.
Certainly, we know how important self-destruct can be, but that's a very good 8 there from Punk. They end up getting that pulse bomb. And also they're coming in, charging with that self-destruct sequence. Doesn't get anyone. High Noon used here from Jordacian, looking to zone the members, waiting for the defense matrix to charge out there. Tactical Visor is used as well here from Nesty. Seen him on Iceworld frag out with that ability, looking to try and charge up there, but the resurrection does come out from Bertlog. Do have that Valkyrie right now, using it to try and get a lot of the members topped up and back alive. So Transcendence also used on the opposite side, so support ultimates have been expanded here. Once again, graphics has been taken out and cannot use that Valkyrie. Once again, they need to keep tabs on that. Once again, Bertlog has managed to get a member back from the dead. Break it down, says Lucio, as the members of Sin Gaming are topped off with those shields. Self-destruct sequence also planted right in the middle. Graphics finally has his Valkyrie available, can use it in this fight, looking to get members, does get Tura, and this grants them the point. And finally, they do get their sort of time to shine there. Mooney does get a funky boop there in the end there.
Just style points. Look at that. So Sin Gaming, they managed to stall enough so that they had 99% on the board. And oh, I have just disconnected, so I'm just going to pass it on to you, Racket, because my game's crashed.
Oh, no worries. I've done solo casting in the past. And Jordacian gets a double kill with that High Noon. Outstanding job there. Tactical Visor also used from Nesty. He's accumulated this very quickly. Once again, now charging back onto point. The members of Sin Gaming, they're camping right now, trying to fend the DarkSided members away, guarding their nest, so to speak. They're a bird, and right now they're fending off the intruders. Right now, that Primal Rage is trying to be used to take off the members of the bridge, but Bus is getting heavily focused with that Discord orb, and is quite low as a result of it. Tranquility also used here from Kura, keeping the members alive. This is what they need to try and contest this. DarkSided, it is 99% here for Sin Gaming, and they could come back as they're now approaching that mark. Sin Gaming, their members have been heavily depleted, and DarkSided the comeback from 99%. Sin Gaming was so close to achieving it, and they managed to come back. Wow.
Sin Gaming. So Sin Gaming took that one out? Because I still am reconnecting, cannot see. I believe I have to just wait for the lobby. But wonderful stuff.
Yeah, certainly, and I think it proves a testament that their mental game is intact, that they can come from such a deficit. And they really did put on a show there, being much more efficient with their ultimates, their resources, and that's so important as well. Getting bridge control and using those cooldowns to zone members from trying to get into the point with their staggers. Did a great job at capitalizing on those loose mistakes as well that Sin Gaming did have. Now we're seeing a Reinhardt Junkrat composition here for the DarkSided team. They're looking to try and contest this choke. Sin Game is like, we're having none of that. We're going through main. We don't want this Junkrat to get the value from these loose balls of kill. Time and Jordacian already with a double kill does get the anti-heal deflect onto Modified as well. So Sin Gaming looking at casting there, electing not to go through the top concert there, or the stage I should say, that Junkrat.
I mean, doing a lot right there. Sin Gaming, I feel as well, they're bolstered. It's all that mental game as well. When you're bolstered by that first victory, you just come in, you're feeling very confident in your abilities. Bast as well. Every time he's going in, he has the support coming out, Burlog and Fun topping him up. So he's allowed to really zone off members and put a lot of pressure onto them, soaking up a lot of the return damage. That's what you need to be able to do.
Let's see how, of course, the DarkSided squad have switched off this Junkrat. The surprise factor is gone, and Punk has been pulse bombed, so making sure they focus that. Jordacian has the track play going towards the back line. Now does get killed as they're looking to snowball their advantage at the moment. DarkSided unsuccessful on their push up against Sin Gaming. Sin Gaming did have to use a little bit of resources as well, so see how they can react towards that, as Locust does eventually get picked up, so maybe a little bit of space here for the DarkSided squad.
You can see as well, I like that Sin Gaming, they're being very, I guess, they're not overextending, they're not trying to overextend. They know that the point can be easily flipped. I mean, with, I guess, that choke advantage like we saw Athletico doing, it can be great to camp, sure, but it can also punish you so bad if you get one pick. Buzz, he actually jumped into the backline, killed Funk!
Modifying the numbers of that fight into the advantage of the DarkSided team, and they're looking to snowball on that beautiful play that that player produced right there. Double kill with the pulse bomb, double strike the sequence, also use their Punk is out of mech as well as a result of that pulse bomb, and DarkSided getting very nice, and they were very pleased with that pick at the beginning of that fight. So glad to see them really get into the zone. Tactical advisor probably used unnecessarily there from Nessie, but he has been getting it quite quickly.
Yeah, he definitely just felt more confident to utilize it, was making sure that they couldn't stall for a long period of time, wanted to get them off the point, finally flip it. Didn't want them to have it on that 99% yet again, because it just takes one cap, as we saw, for them to win the game. So, like what's happened, but Buzz, with the pulse bomb, he, I guess when you freak out, you want to make sure that you get out of the way, but he actually brought it to Funk. So, it'd be better if you just, I guess, stood there and took it like a man. But it's alright, the whole team is back together again.
Oh, he is a bus, so he collects people to drive. So there we go. Unfortunately, it doesn't work with the pulse bomb, but Jordation does get a swift strike onto Mooney, gives him the reset available for that Dragon Play, but does get eliminated very early as a result of that. So that ultimate has been completely neglected there, as the DarkSided team have used their Valkyrie as well as using his as a result of that. And that pulse bomb did end up missing there. But Nation, once again, getting some resets right now, and DarkSided onto point, looking to fend off the Sin Gaming from continuing to get through. And Kura does get a nice shot into Bertlow, who was trying to enter through the spawn there. But Sin Gaming still have a lot of time, I guess, to work with here, but they really need to try and figure out a way to get through.
I think now with Bertlog, he has a Transcendence up now, and a lot will be banking on him, but as well, I'm waiting for Jordation's Dragon Blade to come out. I feel that could be the turning point. That's really what they need. I'm just worried, however, DarkSided, they have some great ultimates that they can use as well to hold the point. So, look at this. Nesty's Tac Visor.
Yeah,
Mopping him up.
Does get 3 kills.
That's what I was 100% banking on. So DarkSided, they do a very, very nice hold, and it really just took Nesty's Tac Visor to open up a lot of the team.
Let's see if Sin can get back onto point. It looks like Bus could touch it. There we go. And Jordation does get picked up. He did have Dragon Blade as well, so that's absolutely huge coming into this. But Transcendence was used here by a Dreadlock. Locust does have that pulse bomb available. Also self-destruct sequence used as well, trying to zone the members of DarkSided. Still looking reasonably confident in this fight as they use their Transcendence to keep their members keeping on going. And the self-destruct sequence. That's a nice lob there! Popping Kuro right on the head. Jordation has his Dragon Blade available, slicing up Mooney. Wants Monkey for dinner, but does get eliminated there. The Tesla Cannon proving to be too powerful for the Ninja in that situation. Bus is contesting this high ground, really wants that Mercy, but is proving to be very difficult to kill. He's very mad with that Primal Rage. He's slapping people, but that's not going to be enough, as the Tactical Advisor is used here from Nesty, zoning a lot of the members off to the point. Nesty, again, the DPS from the DarkSided team, they're getting their ultimates very, very quickly in these fights.
They really are. The GGs get thrown out. So we saw Sin Gaming, they definitely brought it back this week. And we saw, like I said, moments of magic, but this time it was more prevalent, it was more consistent. And that's exactly what we'd like to see. Funk there, he swapped to the Lucio. I mean, as you do, because you're not going to be able to charge up the Valkyrie quickly enough. Just wanting to get back onto the point as quick as possible. But arguably, as soon as Graphics had his Valkyrie up, it just sort of put them at a disadvantage. This is, I guess, the Mercy effect, or just the impact she can really bring to these games. But Sin Gaming, I'd be proud of that performance. DarkSided as well. They played spectacularly. I really like that on Eichenwald. I think that's going to be a memorable one for sure. That payload with Mooney just jumping onto it, so perfectly timed.
Yeah, that's an awesome moment. And the timing, you have to be so specific with those things. And just imagine, the comms going through, right? So I need to jump 3, 2, 1, and then if you miss, if you hit like a wall or something, or if someone gets in your way, the minuscule timing that you have to get correct, especially in the tournament realm, proves to be that, that's a very important sort of aspect in these matches as well. Just performing when you need to do it in these clutch times. And I think DarkSided, they, as a team that is sort of new, they looked a bit more veteran in that sense against Sin Gaming with a lot of those opportunities that they have received.
100%. So let's see. I guess we'll follow on the journey, but that's going to be the first game of the night brought to you here. This was a best of 3. DarkSide, they took this one out 2-0. It was a very well-fought, close one by Sin Gaming. The next match that we'll be bringing you will be Scylla Esports versus Masterminds Blue. So don't go anywhere.